She ate an entire pot of jollof rice, meant for 12 people, but was not satisfied. Stella lived in a small compound in Benin City with her mother and two younger brothers. For the past 2 months, her life had become a nightmare she could not escape. She was always hungry, not the normal hunger that comes before lunch or dinner, but a deep, painful emptiness that felt like her stomach was trying to eat itself from the inside. Every morning, she woke up thinking about food. She would eat a full breakfast of yam and eggs, then eat again 30 minutes later. By noon, she had already consumed what should have been food for 5 people. Her mother tried to understand. She took Stella to the hospital twice, but the doctors found nothing wrong. They said her blood was fine, her organs were normal, they gave her some tablets and sent her home. But Stella knew this was not normal. She had tried to stop eating so much. She really tried. One day she decided she would only eat twice, like before this strange thing started. By evening, her body began to betray her. First came the fever, so high she thought her brain would melt. Then her skin started itching everywhere, as if 1,000 ants were crawling under it. She scratched until her arms bled. Her mother begged her to eat something, anything. The moment food touched her tongue, the fever disappeared. The itching stopped, but the hunger remained. Her family's money was running out. Her mother sold her jewelry to buy food. Her brother started eating less so Stella could eat more. The neighbors whispered when she walked past. Stella stopped going to her tailoring apprenticeship because she could not concentrate. All she could think about was her next meal. Her mother thought it was a spiritual attack. They went to church after church, fasting and praying. Pastors poured oil on her head and shouted at invisible demons. Stella screamed too, not because of the prayers, but because of the hunger. Stella was almost beaten in the market. It happened on a Tuesday afternoon when there was nothing left to eat at home. Stella had searched every corner of the kitchen. Empty pots, empty containers. She told her mother she was going for a walk to clear her head, but really she just needed to escape the empty house. The market was busy and loud. Women were frying akara and selling rice. The smell of food made Stella's stomach twist with pain. She walked past the stalls, trying not to look, but her body pulled her toward a woman selling fried plantain and beans. The woman was counting money from a customer. Her back turned for just a moment. Stella's hand moved before her brain could stop it. She grabbed the wrap of food from the table and started running. She did not get far. A customer saw everything and shouted, "Thief, thief, thief." The sound made everyone in the market turn and look. Hands grabbed Stella from behind. The wrap of food fell to the ground. People started gathering around her like bees. A woman slapped her hard across the face. Someone else pushed her. Stella fell to her knees, covering her head with her arms as more people came closer, ready to beat her. Then one voice rose above the noise. It was an old man selling vegetables nearby. He said she must be very hungry to steal food. He said people should show compassion because it was just food, not money or jewelry. But others disagreed loudly. They said hunger was no excuse for stealing. They said if they let thieves go free, everyone would start stealing. The arguments went back and forth while Stella knelt on the ground, wishing she could die right there. Finally, a young man in a clean shirt stepped forward. He asked how much the food cost. He paid the woman who owned the stall and told them to let Stella go. Nobody touched her as she stood up and walked away, but their eyes followed her all the way out of the market. She did not take the food. She could not. The shame was too heavy. When she reached home, her mother was waiting outside with tears running down her face. Some neighbors who had seen everything at the market had already come back to report. Her mother kept asking why Stella chose to disgrace her like this, why she made their family name dirty. Stella sat on the floor and said nothing. What could she say? This was not who she was before. She had never stolen anything in her life, but the hunger had turned her into someone she did not recognize. She felt sorry, truly sorry, but the words stayed locked in her throat. Her mother cried for hours that night. The next morning, she made a decision. Her friend had been telling her about a native doctor in a village 2 hours away. A man who could solve problems that regular hospitals could not fix. Stella's mother had always been skeptical of such things, but they were out of options. The pastors had failed. The herbalists had failed. The regular doctors had failed. She had to try something, anything, before her daughter destroyed herself completely. They traveled by bus to a small village surrounded by palm trees and red dirt roads. The native doctor lived in a compound at the edge of the village. He was an old man with grey hair and sharp eyes that seemed to see through people. He did not ask many questions. He looked at Stella for a long time, then told them to sit down. He said Stella was cursed. A witch had done this to her. He said the witch lived in the same compound with them, someone they saw every day. He said Stella had done something bad to this person, maybe without knowing, and the witch had punished her for it. The curse was designed to destroy Stella slowly, to make her suffer and bring shame to her family until there was nothing left. The witch turned out to be Mama BC, their next-door neighbor. When the native doctor revealed this, Stella and her mother sat in shocked silence. Mama BC, the one who sold groundnuts by the roadside. They had lived in the same compound for 5 years and never had any serious problems with her. Stella had done something to offend her. It happened at a wedding 8 months ago. The bride was Stella's childhood friend who used to live in their compound before she got married. Stella was helping to serve food at the reception. It was a big wedding, very crowded and noisy. People were pushing and shouting, everyone wanting their jollof rice at the same time. In all the chaos, Stella had walked past Mama BC without giving her food. Mama BC had been calling her, waving her hand, but the DJ was playing loud music and people were talking everywhere. Stella simply did not hear her. She moved on to serve other guests. Mama BC sat there, watching other people eat, getting angrier and angrier. Eventually, she went home hungry because of wedding jollof rice. Stella had been cursed because of wedding jollof rice. Stella's mother actually laughed when she heard this. Not a happy laugh, but the kind of laugh that comes when something is so ridiculous your brain cannot process it. 8 months of suffering, their money finished, their reputation destroyed, Stella nearly beaten in the market. All because Mama BC did not get her portion of party rice. They had no choice but to go and apologize. On a normal day, they would have told Mama BC she was being absolutely ridiculous. What kind of wicked person curses someone over party food? But too much damage had already been done. They just wanted it to end. When they knocked on Mama BC's door, she opened it with a blank face. Stella's mother knelt down and begged. She said Stella was sorry for not serving her at the wedding. It was not intentional. It was just a mistake in the crowd. Please, she begged, remove the curse. Mama BC stood there, arms folded, watching them grovel. She said Stella had disrespected her. She said Stella thought she was better than her. Stella's mother kept apologizing, kept begging, her knees hurting on the hard floor. After what felt like forever, Mama BC finally said she would undo it. Within 2 days, Stella's hunger returned to normal. She could eat regular meals without the terrible emptiness. The fever and itching never came back. She was finally free. But the damage was permanent. Everyone in the compound and the markets knew Stella as the girl who stole food. Her family's name was stained. 3 weeks later, they packed their belongings and moved to a different part of town, starting over where nobody knew their story. Stella learned something she would never forget. People can be wicked over the smallest things, things you do not even remember doing. Things that seem insignificant to you can become poison in someone else's heart. Sometimes the cruelest witch is just your neighbor who never got her party jollof rice.